Hi there, people. I wanted to do a fragrance that video on a fragrance that I have like just cited in the video before, and I think I didn't do a video on it. Maybe I did so much so I don't remember, but I think I never did a video on that one, and it was a big part of my fragrance journey. It is Prada Luna Rossa Carbon. So I do not have the bottle with me because I actually, like, after some times I gave a big sample to a friend, and he used it all, and he really loved that fragrance. And I couldn't wear it anymore because I associated it with him so much that, like, at his birthday I gave him Prada Luna Rossa Carbon, the rest of my bottle, and he still uses it a lot. He used it today. He's one of my roommates. So, what I need to say about that fragrance. It is a big part of my fragrance journey because it is the first time in all my fragrance journey that I was like compelled by a more fresh fragrance. The first one I bought being Maison Margiela Jazz Club, which I still own. Fantastic fragrance. Afterwards, I went for Noir Extrême by Tom Ford, and then began my love for the Tom Ford fragrances, and it's still going on to this day. But that one was like my take on getting a fresher, more sensitive maybe fragrance or whatever. Anyway, what I wanted was something that is fresh, that is not as intense, not as busy with notes. It's not because you like fragrances that you like necessarily smelling all those notes all the time and being like very unique every time. And so I wanted something that was less unique, something that was more a fresh, nice fragrance for any time. And I had seen that there was such a hype over Sauvage, and I was smelling Sauvage, and I think that because I was like anti-hype a bit, I was like, it doesn't smell that good, whatever. And the person that was selling the fragrances back then was like, well, there's other fragrances in that realm that are not Sauvage, like Prada Luna Rossa Carbon. And I smelled it and I was like, wow, it is exactly what I want, because it was so simple and so like straight to the point. And I bought it. I used all the sample and I bought it. And I actually rebought it afterwards after finishing the first bottle, and now the second one, I think it's the second one, I gave it away. But I was still using it a lot. And this is an Ambroxan bomb. This is a Sauvage type fragrance. It probably followed the hype on Sauvage. So what to say? Like the comparison is too easy to make between Prada Luna Rossa Carbon and Sauvage. I would say that Prada Luna Rossa Carbon is probably a more tame, more bare bone fragrance than Sauvage. Sauvage is like, boom, you know, gritty, dirty, super sexy. Prada Luna Rossa Carbon is still sexy, but it's more tame, it's more reserved, it's more like, you know, it's even more no-brainer than Sauvage, even though Sauvage is like a no-brainer fragrance. You know, you just pick it up, you smell good, bam, and everyone likes it. But this one is even more something that everyone will like, and no one will really notice that you have a fragrance on. Reacts really well to sweat. That's one of the first fragrances that I noticed was really like reactive to sweat perfectly. So that's a very like a huge plus for me. And it means that if you're working out or if you're working or whatever, there's that kind of metallic musky thing that just appears more, and it's fantastic. So this fragrance reacts well to sweat. It reacted really well to my sweat. I think it's made for that. It's kind of a sportsy, it's like a Yeah, a fragrance for someone who works out a lot. My friend works out a lot too, so it's very fun for that. It's a fragrance you can wear to the gym. I didn't want to wear fragrances to the gym in general, but this one you can easily get out with it because not many people will just assume that you're just smelling very good from your soap or whatever, because it's kind of as this shower gel with pepper vibe um, that we really like. It's a fragrance that I adore. I cannot wear it because I associate it with my friend too much, and now I've got Sauvage, and I'm like, this is my new identity now. Now I'm more into this, like the eau de parfum, like with the vanilla. And I was always a vanilla guy at the first place, and with the bergamot opening, and Prada Rossa Carbone, on the other hand, has got that superb metallic note that is very well done. Like in general, the metallic notes sometimes a bit too harsh. On Luna Rossa Carbone, it just accentuates that slight seductivity beneath the sensitive lavender and the super nice Ambroxan. And it's more Prada Luna Rossa Carbone is sweeter than Sauvage too, like especially for the eau de parfum, which is not very sweet in Sauvage. Um it's a fantastic fragrance. I would recommend it for people who like want to have one fragrance and just smell good, and you don't care about compliments on that fragrance. You don't care about anything. You just care about, I want to smell good, and you'll get compliments. It's gonna be more tame compliments. I got compliments for that back in the days for Prada Luna Rossa Carbone, but it's not a fragrance that is outstanding. Everyone has smelled Sauvage. Everyone has smelled like all these Ambroxan fragrances out there. This is just another one of them. And it is even more bare bones. So it's like even more simple, even more like not attention grabbing, but you do smell good. It's kind of like, you know, Versace Pour Homme, all those fragrances, Prada L'Homme, things like that. You just spray and you smell good, and that's it. It's clean, fresh, good, does the job. It's perfect. And it's got that, like the Prada Luna Rossa Carbone has got that very nice lavender note that I haven't smelled like that nice lavender note anywhere else. And Ambroxan. It's a modern version of all these Pour Homme fragrances that were like fabric softeners, because now there's the Ambroxan that gives a grit to it, and there's the metallic note that just reacts with the skin. So when you're sweating, when you're into action, it just comes out more. It's just perfect, well suited for the job. I mean, so I would recommend that as well as the other Club de Nuit Etas Man. Those kinds of fragrances I would recommend to people who are not into like niche, very original, very unique fragrances. I would recommend it more for people who are just into smelling good, taking care of themselves, and spreading love and spraying love. So just spray love, everyone. Bye bye.